From the newsroom of the Bryant College Station Eagle, this is the Brazos Sports Prepscast. And now, the Eagle High School sports team, Alex Miller and Jake Weiss.
What's up, y'all? You're listening to another episode of the Brazos Sports Prepscast. I'm Alex Miller from the Eagle, joined always by Jake Weiss and Andrew Tenio. Happy Thanksgiving to all. I am thankful this week that Jake isn't I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
They could say it.
Happy Turkey Day, I guess.
Hey, are y'all a ham or a turkey guy?
I'm ham all the way, personally.
Gosh.
Turkey.
Okay, white meat or dark meat?
Whatever, I guess. Whatever I'm eating.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Come on, Jake.
I'm not picky, I guess. I just like turkey.
You're not picky. All right, I respect it. What is one side dish you can't stand at Thanksgiving?
Actually, you may go to him first. I may need a minute to think on this.
What we can't stand.
Yeah, like everybody's got that one side that you're like, why is this at the table?
Man, first you saying me not hosting, and now this is a negative episode.
I'm
starting
so
off
sorry.
on a negative. Man, I don't know. Yeah, can I pass?
Okay, then what's your favorite?
Oh, mac and cheese.
Okay,
Like,
that's
that's
a
good
layup.
one,
Yeah,
Jake.
I'm proud of you.
What? What do you think I was gonna say?
I don't know. Green bean casserole.
Well,
That's actually the one I probably wouldn't want, is a green bean casserole. So there you go. There you go. I don't like my greens, apparently. So.
Okay, enough banter. Hey, there's 6 Brazos Valley teams still left in the playoffs. Several rematches this week, not only of last year's playoffs, but also some district rematches too. We're going to break down all the action. Ready, set, go. Okay, College Station, they got Smithson Valley 12:30 on Friday in Hutto. Jake, you and I were there last year. Absolute instant classic. The Cougars made a stop on the final play of the game to win by 5. Now comes the rematch. Here we are.
yeah. No kidding. Instant classic. I think I just walked around. I feel like I pretty much just walked around the field afterwards, just kind of looking around, going like, "What just happened?" Like, I was kind of struggling to come up with questions to ask. I was glad you just took the reins and were like, "Yeah, I got this."
Andrew, you were there last week when College Station beat Magnolia in the area round. How did you see the Cougars pull away from them last week?
As par for all year this year, it was very impressive. Obviously, there's a lot of phases of the game that I still had some questions about that I feel like I got some answers from College Station. The score ended up being 45-21, and it could have been more, to be honest with you. Whether it be some, the Peyton Cashin touchdown that was called back because it was like a hidden play. He was hidden on a trick play, and they called it back for some reason. A 4th and 1 they had a false start on, a red zone turnover they had, so it could have been a lot more than it was. But I've been talking about the defense and the special teams, and both actually were really, really good against Magnolia. Probably the best I've seen it so far this year, with a couple takeaways and then like a 64-yard punt from Cade Corcoran. So I was really impressed, and the elements that I wanted to see from them improve, they look like they improved a lot.
The good news for College Station is that it sounds like Aiden Martinez-Brown is expected to play this week. Wilson Stapp had a great game last Friday against Magnolia, but having both of them, I'm sure Stoney's not going to be too upset about that.
No, I don't think so at all. And, too, we're kind of in that point in the playoffs now where we kind of start talking to some of the other coaches as well, or talking to the other coaches on the sideline, So, Alex, I'm kind of curious. I know you sat down with the Smithson Valley head coach, Larry Hill. What'd you hear from him?
Yeah, this is just a typical Smithson Valley team. They're a great program, good pedigree. They're gonna give you their all, and I wouldn't expect anything less from this Rangers team. They play really strong defense. Got a couple of stud senior linebackers in Jackson Maynard and Nicholas Zakowski. That's a mouthful. Coach Pryor said that getting first downs is going to be critical. If you think back to last year's game, Jake, that offense really went flat in the third and fourth quarter, aside from one drive that was, the difference maker. And so, College Station's abilities to sustain drives will be critical in this one for them if they want to come out with a win. And, on the other side, Smithson Valley's got kind of similar to College Station. They've got several guys on offense that they get the ball to, that they go with. Got a couple of really good running backs. Freddie DeBose on offense. He's their stud receiver. He's committed to Texas. Obviously, he gets a lot of attention. But, they've got a couple other guys that can really make some plays too. And so, DeBose didn't play last year. He was injured, got hurt early in the season with a knee injury. But, if there's a little bit of a weakness in College Station, we know it's in their secondary. And so being able to limit big plays and not give up the over-the-top kind of play will probably be critical for them if they want to come out with a win. So, hey, A&M Consolidated, they host Cedar Park at 5 o'clock on Friday at Tigerland Stadium. Let's just say it. The win of the week last week goes to Consol.
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
They were the underdogs. They went down to Fulshire. They took care of business, got a statement win, never trailed in the game either. I mean, I think that was what really impressed me, was that they won start to finish. I know it was tied 7-7 in the first half, but I mean, they really seemed to have the game in hand the entire second half, and that was just really, really impressive.
All I'm going to say is I keep receipts. I picked Consol to win this game, and so yeah.
It's Thanksgiving miracle for Andrew over there.
I did not pick Consol. I'll own up to it.
I didn't either.
It wasn't that I didn't think the Tigers could win. It was hard not to pick against. It was hard to pick against Fulshire, but I put that down. I was like, man, I do not feel good about this pick, and Consol made me feel not good about that pick.
Yeah, if you read the picks column, spoiler alert, if you read my high school picks column, I'm probably going to have to apologize to the Tigers. It might be an apology column more than just a picks column, because I screwed that one up, folks.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt that I'm picking Consol this week, okay? They've got Cedar Park. They played each other in week 6. Consol held on for an 8-point win. You were out there, Jake. And, to me, that kind of seemed like it was the turning point of their season, and they've just been on a roll since then. They came into that game 2-2. They've been 7-1 since, and I mean, they're getting hot at the right time.
And you think back too, that was the first district win of the year.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I know they did lose at College Station later on, so they haven't been undefeated in district since then. But I just kind of think about that and I go, man, like you said, turning point, because if you lose that game, you're 0-2 in district. They had lost to Georgetown the week prior in a real close game at home. They get that win, though, and then, yeah, like you said, been smooth sailing since. I know they've kind of had – it's funny. I was thinking about that Cedar Park game, and I was like, well, Cameron Vines is out. And I know he had a touchdown, that kind of won them that game, put them up 24. I think 24 to – might have been 24-16 at that point when he scored that touchdown. Maybe not. But anyway, he had that touchdown. At that time, Tyler Poling was quarterbacking still. Now it seems like they've kind of gone more to Will Hargett. But they still kind of trade off too, Alex. You've seen him more recently than I have. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, I mean, Will has reemerged as the starter, but they've got that 2-quarterback system where if you're leading touchdown drives or scoring drives, I should say, you get to stay on. But if your drive doesn't end with a score, you come out and the other guy gets to go in. It's kind of this what they call a JV rotation, right?
Yeah, okay, I got you. I wanted to make sure I didn't want to say the wrong thing. I picked against them last week, so I don't want to make Consol people mad 2 weeks in a row. But yeah, so they've kind of changed a lot on offense since that game, and I know Cedar Park has changed a lot too. I talked to head coach Brandon Schmidt, I guess this week, and he said, hey, we've changed a lot, and they've changed a lot since then as well. But yeah, like you said, Alex, I think it's a great way of putting it. Turning point, and yeah, I mean, Consol's, don't want to say they've been in the driver's seat, but they've been hot since then.
Yeah. Any other notes from Coach Schmidt and the Tigers heading into this one?
Yeah, kind of interesting, I thought. At least maybe just interesting to me. But I was kind of curious, hey, third round of the playoffs, how'd you get a home game? And he said, hey, we tried to find some neutral sites. We went to Temple. We went to Waco ISD. We rated it a little too low on the list. Or, hey, it's Thanksgiving break. We're not trying to host. So they just flipped a coin, and Consol won the coin flip.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, can't get too far ahead, but just saying, if they both win this week, we'll be talking about a big one next week. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Hey, on the other side of town, St. Joe's, they're flying high, man. The Eagles
How about
in
the
the
Eagles?
TAPS state semifinals. Okay, had to hold on to beat Fredericksburg Heritage last week, but we're able to make it happen. Here comes another. We're talking about a district rematches. We're about to get into a common theme here. These next 3 games, playing Baytown Christian, 7:00 Friday in Oakwood. Andrew, I'm pretty sure you're going to that game, isn't that right?
I will be there. Yes.
Yeah. Give us a little insight into what you're looking for, maybe.
Really, I'm just excited to see Jackson Carey go to work. He did it on both sides of the ball last week. He had 17 tackles, a team high, and he's been a consistent runner all year long. I looked at the schedule leading up to this point. So this was also St. Joseph's first district game earlier this year. And prior to Friday, that was the closest a game had been this year. So I'm very curious to see if the emotion from last week carries over, if there's a little bit of a lull, or if it's the same old work from St. Joseph's.
Yeah. Did you talk to Coach Castellet this week?
I did, yeah.
Ah, hey, what do you have to say?
Yeah, man, I'm glad you asked. He first said, hey, Baytown Christian, we know them real well. It's a district opponent. They're well coached. He said kind of they have a system and they stick with it. And their main guys, they're spread back. He's real fast. They like to give him the ball, see what he can do. So on the other kind of side, what's St. Joseph's got to do against Baytown Christian this week? I liked that he rhymed. He said they got to contain and maintain. And then at the same time, just let their athletes be their athletes. Because, hey, they're 11-0. So what they've been doing all year, it's obviously been working. So just kind of stay the course, do what they do, and it should be all right.
There you go. Hey, Franklin, they've got Little River Academy, 7:00 Friday in Tomball. Here we go. 3rd district rematch in the 3rd round. You guys catching a trend here? Okay. Franklin beat Academy 49-28 to close the regular season. Look, the Bees are feeling good though. Okay. We talked last week. They beat Hitchcock in round 1. That totally kind of shook up that side of the bracket. They go and beat Diboll in round 2. Diboll's a pretty salty team. Okay. Casey Mraz at quarterback. He's tough to catch, okay? He's got like 1,800 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards, 39 total touchdowns. So, I'm going out to Franklin tonight. I wish I could give a little insight on what Coach Fannin had to say about the Bees. But, last Friday he goes, man, it's tough to beat a team twice. I mean, that's true. And so, we look at these 3 teams. They're all going to have to do it. Cavalli Neely for Academy, he's got 1,700 rushing yards, 21 touchdowns. So, this Lions defense, they're going to have to be sharp all the way around to, make sure that Academy doesn't try and spoil what they're trying to accomplish over there in Franklin.
They were to pull off the upset, like you said, in week 1. So it's not like we don't think Little River's not. Little River's capable. I was gonna say not capable. I'm like, wait, that doesn't work. We know Little River's capable of pulling it off.
I keep thinking back to the playoff preview. We talked about this region and how deep it is, but none of us expected Academy to be here with the anticipation of Franklin making it through a couple of rounds. The Academy was not on our agenda. I'll be honest.
I think Ben Peck pointed him out. Actually,
Of course he did.
Ben pointed him out, and he was like, "Hey, watch out for these guys. They're pretty good." So
know something.
Hey, I shout out Ben, but I gotta say he woke me up the next day when he tweeted out the clip from the podcast with him giving his prediction. He woke me up, so I might have to tell Ben next time I see him about that. Give him a little grief.
All right,
waking me up that day.
There you go. Hey, Lexington, they've got Poth 6:30 Friday in New Braunfels. Look, guys, we left Lexington for dead in the bi-district round. They go and they beat Bowling, okay? And now last week they go and they beat Odom by 41. No. Here they are in the 3rd round. Here's the deal, though. Poth, they're really freaking good, okay? This is going to be a tough matchup for the Eagles. Poth is 11-1. They're coming off a state title game appearance last season. They finished the regular season number 6 in the 3A Division II rankings, and so this is gonna be a tough matchup for Coach Mole and his team. But hey, they've risen to the challenge. They really have.
No, that defense over at Lexington, I want to say they had a streak there where they had like 3 or 4 games where they held teams to 14 points or less. So we know they're capable, but like you said, Poth, pretty good. And we know Lexington, we've talked about it before. We talked about it in the bi-district a little bit, kind that they're kind of a young team. I think, this is another week where Lexington, you get some good experience. You bring a lot of those young guys back again next year, but it's going to be tough this week. But hey, good learning experience. And who knows? We've been wrong. We were wrong the first week. I think we all kind of changed our tune in the area round. So who knows? If Lexington pulls us off again, just keep surprising us.
I think this situation is a little similar in my eyes to Consol last week, a team that's gotten better over the year like Lexington, and has surprised people in the first couple games going up against a state-ranked team. So if it feels very similar to the Consol-Fulshire situation as Lexington both does. But like I said, crazier things have happened, so I guess we'll find out.
All right, last but not least, and hey, this might actually be the best game on the whole slate this week. I'm just going to say it, okay? Okay, we got Bremond against Falls City, 6 o'clock Friday in Cedar Park. This was a bi-district matchup last year. The Beavers got an 87-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter to hold on to a 40-36 win. Braylon Johnson for Falls City, he's got almost 1,600 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns. Jacob Swearick, he's got 600. Here's the good news for Bremond, though. Okay, they got Terrence Scott and Coben Zan.
Hey, don't forget about that defense, though.
Don't forget about that defense either.
2 weeks in a row, 2 shutouts.
Yeah, Bremond's rolling. It's looking like I might do a little double dip on Friday and go over to Cedar Park Friday night, catch that game.
Really?
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Well,
I'll let you know what happens.
yeah, I was saying, keep me posted.
Yeah.
I will give you a shout out because I was at home after. Shout out to the Iola Lady Bulldogs, by the way, for winning state. So I was at that last Friday, and when I got home, I checked your Twitter, Alex. I was like, hey, Alex has got all the updates. He's got the Consol updates. He's got the Franklin updates. He was retweeting Andrew with the College Station updates. So I was like, man, this is perfect. I can just refresh Alex's Twitter, and I got all the updates.
Yep.
Hey, there you go. Hey, shout out to Cease, though. Cease was the one that was giving me all the updates over at the Consol game.
Oh, man, okay.
And, I'm trying. He's sending me scores, and then I'm like, well, who scored? And then, 5 minutes later, it's like, Taylor, 95 run. And I'm like, thanks.
Hey,
I don't know if it was
so.
90. It was like 82, I think. Trey Taylor had a long touchdown run last week.
I saw he took that bow, too. I saw that was his celebration. I liked it.
Yeah, he did. He sure did. And rightfully so. Hey, any final thoughts on this week's slate of games?
No, I think we've covered it all. We've put all news that fit the print.
Stoked, loaded, and it's fun that I really don't know who's going to win any of them. So
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun week, I think, when you really start to think about it. And hey, this is kind of a measuring stick of a good season to get to play in Thanksgiving. Playing in December is that next kind of mark. And so these teams got a chance to do it. All right, hey, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of the Brazos Sports Prepscast. Be sure to check all of our coverage of this week's games on theeagle.com. We'll be back next week breaking down more playoff action here in the Brazos Valley.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.